Here are some beautiful photos of the Hoh rainforest in near Seattle in Washington. And I've matted them all and decided this is how they're going to be laid out. So there's been a lot of talk about this paper pack and how we cannot get another paper pack without getting the stamp sets and the whole kit. So some people have been doing that. I myself really can't afford to do that. Like, I would buy another paper pack as well. But I just wanted to show how you could make this paper pack go farther by, I'm going to add in some mix-in. So for sure, I'm going to add in this sheet. I think it goes really well. But I have 2 sheets of this because I always buy 2 sheets of everything, or 2 packs of the mix-ins, pardon me. But I also want to show you, I'm going to do my best to only have to use this 1 sheet. And that's the beauty of having a lot of photos, is that you don't need tons and tons of pattern paper because the photos are covering a good portion of the page. So I'm going to go with, if you watched my last video using the Change of Scenery paper pack, you'll know that I used this sheet of paper and I split it on the ends so that it looked similar to some of the layouts other people were doing, but I didn't have to use up both sheets of this right away. So that was the first thing I did. And so this time I want to use this leftover piece, and I think I'm going to put it in behind this picture to kind of bring it out. But I also think this is kind of boring up here, and look at all that nice green under here that's hidden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. So I always mark, because it's just better if you mark it. And I'm just going to make sure it's going under there in case I shift things around a bit. And I'm just going to cut that off. Oh, now I have to find my mark. There it is. Haha. Make sure that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and then I'm not sure about the top yet, so this is going to go here. So then I can put the rest of this up here. Isn't that great? And okay, so the other thing I've kind of already decided is I want to frame this whole row somewhat, like some of it might be outside the frame in this. So a lot of it's going to be behind, and it's definitely going to go behind here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from, I want it to go around, say from 2 to 9.5. So I'm going to go here and then up to 9.5. So I'll make my pencil mark there. And then try to keep the paper intact the rest of the way. So this would go to 4. This would be a little bit farther. It's still 4.25. So I'll go till 4.5 on here. And then I'm just going to cut this piece out. Right there. Okay. And then this is going to go like this. I did make it a little bit short. I should have gone a little farther. But that's okay. I can work that out because I'll just move this a little bit over, and I want this kind of to be framed and this to go like this. So now I'm going uphill. So this portion here, where this line would continue here, is going to be covered up. So I only need a little piece down here. So remember, I went to 2, and this picture is going to be at 3 3/4. So I'm going to go till 2. So I need a strip this wide. So just to make my life easier, and it's going to be the same width as this. So just to make my life easier, I'm going to mark it again. So it's going to go under there. So I'll go a little past 2, so I have enough. Oh, it's not quite there. I'm just going to snip it. There, so close. Okay, so this can go here. Now it's going to go like that, and then this is going to come down, be underneath there, tucked under there. And I may still put a little bit more of a frame around this one because I'm okay with covering some of those up. Okay, so now I want this line that's right here, come on, get under there, to continue at the level of 2, and I want it to go all the way across here. So, but over here, unless I bring this down, I think I like it up though, but over here it only needs to go this far. So this is enough for over here, so I'll just cut that strip, and it's about it's this distance here. So I'm going to give it 1 inch just to make sure I have enough. 1 inch. Okay, now there's going to be one issue over here because I kind of wanted this to come around and go like this. So I can do a couple different things. I can make a seam somewhere and cover it up, because if I do that now, I can do it this way, but the writing will be upside down, and I'd prefer to make a seam and cover it up than have the writing upside down. So I think I will do it here, and then make the seam I think the seam can go here because that'll get covered fairly easily with some embellishments the way it is. So that means I'm doing this one more time. And this time it has to be this wide, so I'm gonna go, this is 2 inches wide. Yep, 2. That's coming down, so that's fine. So that's 2 inches wide. Bring that down again. Oops, I'm making a mess. To the end. So it needs to be a square that goes up to 10. So here, and over to here. Go a little farther just because I cut that first one a little bit. So this is what I have left. Look at that, not much waste. This is under here, so if I wanted, I could cut a tag from under here too. Uh-oh. Oh, I was at 9.5 there, so I think it will work out. 2. Oh, that didn't even need to be there. Well, maybe I'll show it a bit just because it's available. I think this one's, oh no, it's not. It's good. There, and now my embellishments that are here will hide this bit, and plus I'll ink these edges so then I won't ink this, so that'll hide it quite well. Now I also think I need to have this picture showing off a little bit more, so I could use this paper, this pine paper, but I think I like the bright green, which I think fern. Yeah, I think that's gonna go better. And I could even do more than one, but I'm gonna, these pictures are not exact to 4x6, so I'm gonna do this. What do we got here? There. Oh, it's a little wider than I meant to. But you know what? I'll show you the trick I do when I accidentally make it too wide. I'll sometimes just take the photo back off and recenter it. And that usually hides if I've made it too wide. There. So that is starting to come together already. And as I was getting my things out to make this layout, I discovered that I have the stamp of the month. I don't know where I put it just now, but it's here. And it is trees. So I think I'm gonna try and make a border with the stamp of the month. So I'm gonna get this adhered to a white background because obviously I can't just glue it to these mats. And then I'll be back. Down. All right, mostly glued down, and I'm testing out this title. I think I might use it. You'll see a couple of holes here. Those are going to get covered up with this. So I will keep those aside for hopefully embellishments. So now I'm going to cover up the rest of the white daisy in the background. I call this method wallpapering. Wherever there isn't photos, I want to put some green paper or other patterned papers, but where there's photos, it's not necessary to have the paper underneath. So this method really saves on paper because you do not need to use the 2 sheets of green to start on, which would be a little bit easier, but this takes a bit more time, but you can serve a lot of paper. So I used that green from Change of Scenery, and I wanted it to continue a little bit above the pictures. And then I used 2 inches of another mix-in that has this wood grain with some white paint sort of sanded off. So I changed my mind about the Enjoy the View title. I decided to use this sticker. It is not something I would ever use with Discover Yourself. But I thought the word discover was cute. And so I thought, what if I cut it out and then I cover up that yourself part? So I proceeded to do that. I cut out this little banner that I had stamped on the Hoh rainforest, which is where we were. And I could use that to cover up the bottom of this little circle. And another reason I cut it into a circle was I didn't want to introduce a hexagon when I was already using circles as my kind of embellishment cluster bases. So I thought, well, I'm going to make it match and blend in. This is one of the zip strips from the mix-ins from one of the sheets I used. I think it's on the wood grain paper. And I'm just going to add it underneath to add a second banner, and then I'm going to add pieces of it around the page just to blend it all together. I also really wanted to bring in the stamp of the month because it has trees on it. So I used it to stamp one of the circles to give it more of a stamped background. And then I used the 3 evergreens in the Change of Scenery stamp set to stamp the other circle. And last of all, I stamped a row of trees kind of to the far right of the layout, right on the layout background. It didn't go perfect, but I was able to just kind of cover it up with an embellishment cluster. So I ended up really liking how it turned out. And I like that embellishment cluster far better underneath those pictures because I didn't like the two white circles across the top of the page. I like that they're at a diagonal from each other now, and I still have a bit of a visual triangle. And then I added a few little embellishments at the top and of the right hand page, and I'm planning to put the date up there and probably Washington. These little sprigs that I have, like pine tree looking sprigs, are from a kit, a workshop kit, I think a card kit that we had at Christmas time. So they are no longer available, but any of these kind of little stamped or little sprig leaf die cuts can be really nice to add a different sort of texture out of cardstock rather than a sticker to your embellishment clusters. And these trees, I didn't want to use both rows of trees that come with this kit. So I really wanted to make this one strip go as far as I could. And that's the name of the game with this layout. I'm trying to show you how to make everything go farther. I also really do recommend inking up those trees a bit because then they have a little bit more dimension. And I just did that with espresso ink. These little hearts also came in the kit in one of the punch out sheets, and I'm adding a few extra little hearts and dots from my stash, and this layout is pretty well all done. So I just added that little word here at the top because that was in the sticker sheet, and I'm giving you a bit of a close-up. I hope you enjoyed watching this layout come together, and I hope you'll hit like and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.